Good morning, CUT. Earlier in this week, I happened to be in the same place where Miss Shirley Walls was. I try to travel with the best. And the description that someone was actually Martin Woods, but the description that he gave of Shirley Walls is he called her a vocal genius. And so help me say thank you to the vocal genius that is Miss Shirley Walls. Whew. That thing got right down in there, didn't it? I mean, it's not every day a groove can get down in there like that. I don't know. God must be in here. I'm excited. My sister and friend is with us today. I think you should know that her calendar is set nearly a year out, and it wasn't a year ago that I called her. It was, I don't know how long ago. It wasn't very long ago, though. And I said, sis, 6th anniversary, and I want the people that I love to be with me. And she said, listen, I've got something on the calendar on that day, but I'm going to see what I can do. And so she worked the magic, and she's here with us today, so I appreciate that. Help me say thank you to Miss Lisa Nichols. So I don't want to take up a lot of her time, but she is world-renowned. She is one of the world's most requested motivational speakers, as well as a media personality and corporate CEO. Her global platform reaches and serves nearly 30 million people. She went from being a struggling mom on public aid, public assistance, to a millionaire entrepreneur. So there are no excuses about where we are, because where we are is not the limitation of where we can be. Listen to her when she speaks. She knows of which she speaks. She is the founder and chief executive officer of Motivating the Masses. She and I just had church before we came out. I almost didn't even come out because I got my lesson. I don't want to be selfish. I hope you get yours too, but I almost didn't even come to church. I almost stayed in the back. I put my tithe in when the offering comes, but I already had my lesson. She's a best-selling author of 6 books, and her most recent book, the 7th book, Abundance Now, was published by HarperCollins. She is extraordinary. She is off the chain. She is incredible. I'm saddling up next side to her because I don't care what anybody says. I'm getting ready to go global too. Yeah. I've decided that I will not be boxed in. I won't box myself in. I will refuse to be boxed in. And so I'm checking out for people and checking with people and checking in with people who are doing things on a magnificent level. I can't read it all because it's so much. She's going to tell you who she is for those of you who don't know. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Miss Lisa Nichols, my sister, my friend.
I love you. Amen. So many times people say, welcome back, and I always say, no, you mean welcome home. Because this is my home. So thank you for having me again as your sister from far away. I'm always, whenever I come to Chicago, I know where home is. And I know when my brother calls to move the mountain. Just took a couple of phone calls. It just took a little flexing of my CEO role. Someone said, well, you can't do that. I said, well, I started a company so I don't have to hear. I can't do that. Amen. And so we're here. I'm grateful. 6 years of service in this wonderful place. I know what it's done for me, so I know what it's doing for you. And fellowship family is more important than any other family. My biological family gives me what I need as a form of grounding. My fellowship family allows me to know that no matter what happens, I can stand on it, not in it. You know, I can stand on it, not in it. So, and at times when I was dreaming of this life and my physical life looked very differently, it was my fellowship family that prayed the heavens down for me. And when I travel the world and I'm away from my family, it's my fellowship prayer warriors that are praying for me. So I'm grateful to be here. I'm honored to be here. I don't take the invitation lightly. And choir, y'all know I always want to I just want to stand. They're going to let me wear the robe for a minute. I can't carry a note if you strapped it to my back, but I can do the talking in between. You know, I can do my Kirk Franklin version. So I am going to ask, and I always do this. Y'all know I always say at some point, bring the sound in so I can feel like I'm with y'all. I'm going to do that too today. I don't know when. Y'all help me out. Y'all know when it feels right. Step on in. I love the message today because it's if the shoe fits. God's unique design for you. I love the conversation that comes out of Jeremiah 1:5. It says, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. And I want to unpack that. I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. For all y'all folk that people call you strange. Well, I was set apart back in the day. Before I was formed, I was set apart. So I'm not supposed to be like everybody. And then it goes on to say, I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. And to me, I take nations and I first mean in my family, then on my block, then in my neighborhood, then to my culture, then to my gender. See, nations, sometimes we can make stuff so big we never get the baby step move for us. And so I just, as I always say, stop by to really talk about, are you wearing the right size on your shoe? Because sometimes, y'all know I'm going to leave this, right? Sometimes we tend to look at other people's feet, the shoe they're wearing, and ask the question, why am I not wearing that shoe? Because there's a shoe that fits you, and it won't fit anybody else. You know, when you look at the Wiz back in the day and Dorothy put on the shoe and oddly it just fit. When you look at Cinderella, right, and she went from rags to the shoe just fit. Well, look down at your feet right now. No, really, look down at your feet right now. You didn't put on some shoes that didn't fit this morning. You put on the exact shoe that would fit your foot so you can walk it through those doors and get your word. So the same as that shoe fits your feet, you couldn't wear too small shoes because then you can't concentrate. Amen? Amen. We all done had the shoes. We said, now this one got to go. I've outgrown these shoes. You can't put a size 8 foot in a size 6 shoe. It's not going to be comfortable. So why are you trying to put a size 8, 9, 10 mind in a size 5 behavior? Oh, you know it's coming. And the Reverend told me I can bring it to y'all. The Reverend said I can just say it. See, sometimes we take our life, the calling on your life is a size 12. But the mindset is a size 2. And so you sit inside discomfort for the next 10 years, 5 years, wondering when you're going to get comfortable, when you decide you've always known there was a calling, a size 12 on your life. And at times when you begin to back up, it's because you're wondering, well, what if? Well, what if it don't work? Come on, y'all, somebody, yes, yes? Come on, amen, come on, talk to me. This is a dialogue, this is not a monologue. Y'all know how I roll. It's a dialogue. Let me know when you hear your truth. Just when you hear your truth. Nobody else's truth. Just your truth. But give an audible when you hear your truth. Yes? Not for me, for you. So you know, notice, that was me. That was for me. See, a lot of times you go through life and you know there's a calling on your life bigger. You know it. Come on, y'all. Those of y'all who know it. You know it. You know, you don't hide behind it. If you keep it quiet, don't mean we don't see the calling on your life. Right? You know it's a calling on your life, but the last time you tried to step out, it cost you something. Come on, somebody. It cost you a friend. It cost you a relationship. You failed, and all of a sudden you felt embarrassed. Come on, y'all. You gained some weight. All of a sudden you had to go back and you had to release the relationship, right? And all of a sudden you worried about starting it again. So now you're in a size 2 shoe with a 12 calling in your life, just waiting. That 12 calling is trying to get out, saying, come on, would you let me out? Would you get out of these size 2 shoes? It's like you're about to jump into a double dutch game. You know how when you're about to jump in the double jump rope, y'all remember back in the day, you doing this, like, hold on, keep turning. And everybody turning like, come on, jump in, come on, take off that size 2 shoe, come on. You like, hold on, let me make sure the kids graduate from high school. Hold on, let me lose 20 pounds. Hold on, let me make sure my man support me. Hold on, let me get my woman, I'm just saying. You wait, you holding on, and you look up, it's 5 years later. Come on, y'all, somebody. It's 10 years later, and you wonder, how did my knees start hurting while I was waiting? Because you've been rocking for the last 12 years. You ain't jumped in. God said, I got a calling on your life. I didn't say the calling was going to be easy, but you built to last. You ain't built for just the easy road. You built for every road. Like, so I just stopped by as your sister. Because people look at my life today, I'm grateful for my life. I travel the world. I just got back from Budapest a couple of weeks ago. Before that, I took my father to Ireland. I'm on my way to Ibiza, Spain. I didn't even know there was a place called Ibiza. Apparently, it's near Barcelona, so I'm going to see Barcelona while I'm there. And I look at my life, and it's unrecognizable. I didn't know I could be. When I was in my size 2 shoe, I didn't know there was a 12 calling on my life. I didn't know there was a 24 calling on my life. All I saw was a 2. All I saw was all the lack and limitation, all the hurt, all the restrictions, all the scarcity. All I saw was that I was a C student, and I couldn't get a grade above a C for the 12 years I was in school. Well, I got a C+. Hold on, Lori know about the C+. Don't forget my plus if you tell my story. It matters to folk like me. It matters. If you write my life story, say C+. See, I was that kid, so I didn't have this. I couldn't see a 12, 24 calling on my life. I was that girl that got a fail in English. And I got a D- in speech the last time I took either one of those classes. I was that kid that lacked self-esteem. I was that kid that didn't know where I fit. I was that young woman that tried to find my beauty in the arms of men. Because I wasn't, I'm just going to tell y'all the truth. I don't mind what your judgment is about me after my story, because I know who I am, and I know whose I am. I know whose I am. So no one told me nothing. There was no evidence. Say evidence. There was no evidence of a size 12 calling on my life while I was in my 2. But I knew that there was a size shoe that was bigger than the one I was in. And all I had to do was become committed to finding my 4, then my 6, then my 8, then my 10, then my 12, and whatever else you got for me, God, I'm going to step into that shoe. And all of a sudden, the small things that you would normally sit down to, they bow down to you. See, somebody, you want your future, but you too caught up in your yesterday. You looking at yesterday's newspaper trying to design your future. And God said, I got a calling on you that's bigger than today. Like, this ain't your end point. This is just where you are right now. That there's some things I got to release from you. I got to move that job out of your way. You would have stayed there forever. Come on, somebody. I got to move. I got to break down your finances so I can get your attention. Do I have your attention now? I got to move that relationship out of your life because they're not speaking into your future, and you won't let them go on your own. So I got to move that out of your life. But understand, I knew who you were when you were in the womb. I knew who you were. And I only have good things for you. I didn't bring you to do you any harm. Never have. Now, will you go through some stuff? Yes. But I want to stop by and tell my daughter, stop by and tell you, when I say go through some stuff, I need you to keep going through it. I need you to not stop and take out real estate in the stuff. Some of y'all done took out real estate in the stuff. You done did a lease option buy in the stuff. You done did a rent to own in the stuff. And God said, I just told you to go through it. Don't stop. You done turned a speed bump into a stop sign. And it's just a speed bump. And in Cali, we don't even slow down for the speed bumps. Why? And so I just, I look at your life. I look at our life. I look at who we've been meant to be. Who you are will never be shaken. Who you've been meant to be will never be questioned. What you go through will change. What you go through will change. And there will be days, Reverend, no, I'm going to walk all around. I'm trying to get down. There will be days when you feel like, is this it? And the answer is there's always more. But are you willing to be courageous, bold? Are you willing to like and love every part of your journey? Are you willing to have blind, unwavering faith? That's to show me when I don't see it, I just know it. When I don't see it, I just know it. And I move with the same level of certainty. See, God is waiting on you to move with certainty. You're moving with wonder. I wonder if. So when you say I'm wondering, God said, well, I'm wondering too. Because when you move with certainty, I move with certainty. When you know, I know. The universe will match you right where you are. So when you move with absolute certainty about that relationship, about your health, about your job, about your finances, absolute certainty, the universe responds accordingly. People ask, how did you do it? I said, I never thought I couldn't. And I'm okay being called crazy. There's freedom, y'all, in being called crazy. Come on, somebody gonna know. There's freedom in not fitting in. There's freedom in not being attached to how many likes you might get on Facebook. There's freedom in that. Because if I don't have to be normal, then I can be me. And you can define that any way you need to define that. So there's a new day. There's a new day coming. And the day is here. It's right now. My Fitbit says now. It's now. Like there's no waiting on anything. It's all waiting on you. It's all waiting on you. Like when I realize no one is going to come and rescue me. That I am my own rescue. You are your own rescue. You are everything you've been looking for. And the day you can operate like you have fallen madly in love with you, unequivocally, and not in a way that puts anyone else down, but in a way where when people are in your presence, you make them tippy-toe. Just because they say, God, I want a little bit of that. I want the way you forgive you, the way you give yourself 1,000 second chances. Somebody needs to give themselves 1,000 second chances. Somebody's keeping score when God said, don't keep score, just keep track. Just know how you got here if you don't want to be here again, but don't keep score. Because keeping score is finding reasons to validate why you think you ain't going to make it. Keeping track says, hold on, let me navigate how I got here so if I don't like it, I don't get here again. And if I like it, I can rinse and repeat. Amen? And so I stopped by. I stopped by just because I love you. I love serving you. I love being with you. But I also want to put you on point. I want to put you on point that the world needs you more than it's ever needed you. And when I say the world, I mean the people in your household. Let's just be clear. I mean the people in your zip code. I mean the people in your neighborhood. I mean the people in your city. Chi-Town needs you. How they need you to walk in such a way where you walk with such certainty that you ease their stress when you walk by. Like walk with such faith that when they lose the faith, they can borrow your faith on that day and you got enough for both of y'all. Like that kind of certainty. That kind of certainty says the storm does not dictate me. I modify the storm. I'm a new element in the ingredient of the storm. When I step in the room, a new element is in the room that will shift the dynamics of the room because I'm in it. That kind of certainty. Not ego, ladies, not she-go. We get our own. Not that, from a place of pure service. From a place of pure service. From a place of pure obedience. I was telling Reverend back in this office, I said, listen, I can be stubborn, I can be righteous, I can get on my back, but I'm always obedient to God. I have always, from the moment at 21, when I stepped through the doors and I heard two things from God. One, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. And two, I will never make a fool of you if you follow my word. Them two things, I've been banking on that. I said, I'm going to ride those two till the wheels fall off. I'm going to follow your word and trust and believe my life is evidence of having unwavering faith and being unrealistically obedient. People say, Lisa, come on, can't nobody around you see what you see? How can you do that? I said, I ain't asking for your vision. God got a 20/20 you don't have. God got a 2020 you don't have. God can see the unseen. God can see the unseen and know what no one else knows. So I ain't asking for your 2020. Put your readers on. God can see through all that. I'm 50 now. I know about readers. Man, I didn't know about readers before. So I stopped by. When I looked at the word, and it said, like the powerful scripture said, speak words of life, love, and wisdom. As you speak the language of love. The language, speak in the affirmative without any doubt regarding the power of your words. I look at my life and I go, hold on. God put a shoe out there for me and said, this is the shoe for you, non-negotiable. And here's what I know. If you don't wear your shoe, and you keep just watching other people wear their shoe on YouTube, on Hulu, Netflix, BET, HBO, See My House, Pimp My Ride, all the houses and cars and all that stuff. You just watch other people. Your greatest fear will not be that you will die. Your greatest fear will be that you will die before the world sees you wearing your shoe that fits you. It ain't that you're going to go. We already know we live in a good life. We got good hearts. It's your fear is that you're going to go before the world really gets your fingerprint. So I stopped by to ask you, are you willing? Because it ain't ever too late. You the right age, right time, right weight, right complexion, right status, single or in a relationship. You the right everything right now. Somebody can only get the divine message through you. Only through you. They don't even want to hear me. They only want to get it through you. And they won't get it through what you say. They'll get it through who you be. And I meant to say it that way, English majors. They want to get it through who you be. They want to get it through the faith that comes from your pores, from the belief that comes from your pores, from the unwavering conviction that exudes from you and every time you open your mouth, from the non-negotiable evidence of the way you walk up that aisle. They want to get it from that. They won't get it from you never being knocked down, by the way. So if you're knocked down, don't be deterred, because the lesson is not in the fact that you got knocked down. The lesson is in how did you get up. That's your lesson. That's going to always be your lesson. And if you get shot by a situation, shot by betrayal, shot by loss, shot by someone being unworthy, unfaithful to you, shot by that. It's not by how you took the bullet only. It's about how did you forgive the shooter. Come on, y'all. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. Your lesson, your kids, your grandkids, your nieces, your nephews, they're watching how did you not only take the bullet, but how did you embrace the shooter. Come on, y'all. I didn't come here to make you comfortable. I came here as your sister in the journey to say, what's the greatest version of you look like? What does the greatest version of you look like? How can this next season be the season that you blow your own mind? Don't worry about blowing my mind. You blow your own mind, and you'll take care of everybody else. I wake up every day, God, how can I blow my mind serving you? How can I go past where I thought I could ever go? See, you're worried about what it's going to cost you to get there. I want you to shift your worry and worry about what it's going to cost you not to get there. What will it cost you if you set for the next 10 years inside any form of mediocrity? I came to challenge any form of mediocrity that you think you can get away with. And let me tell you something, brilliant people, we can get away with mediocrity. Come on, y'all, let me just expose all the brilliant people in the room, because your 70% is somebody else's 159%. So you can give up, come on, y'all, come on. If you know it's you, come on, because your 70% makes people say, wow. And I just came to challenge that. To go, yeah, it's wowing them, but I want you to be wowed 20 years from now. I want you to be wowed by you. I see the tears. I understand that. That's possibility just oozing from your eyes saying, come on, she's speaking her truth. Come on, somebody's been doing this. Somebody's been doing this. Somebody's been doing this. And you're ready to just stand up and ready to say, count me in. Count me in. Somebody's been doing this. And I'm here to tell you that you can jump in at any given moment. And you can love bigger. Forgive faster. You can go to the edge. Feel the fear of leaping. Feel the fear and go, what if I fall? What if it doesn't work? What if I love again and I get hurt? What if I open a business and it doesn't work? What if I really let my kids go? What kind of adults would they be? What if I stop hiding my talent? What would they say about me? You can go to the edge, feel the fear, and then look down at your shoes. Go, the only way I'm going to jump into that size 12 is to jump out of these size 6s. The only way. The only way. The only way. My son's father went to prison when my son was 8 months old. My son is 23 this year. He came here when he was like 8. My son's father's still in prison. When I first came here, I was obese. I wore it well, but I was obese. I sat over 215 pounds for 19 years. I hid my health challenges with all my success. 2 years ago, I hired a consultant, and he was a fraud and a swindler. And he came into my company, signed a lot of documents, was on a lot of my paperwork, helped me to raise $1.8 million in investor dollars, and then I find out that he had swindled other companies out of over $5.8 million. And he was on his way to do this thing called rape and pillage my company. When I came home from New York from finding that out, I climbed in bed. My son walked in the room and said, "Mommy, are you okay?" And I tried to put the fake okay face on. And my son and I, you know the fake parental face. And my son looked at me and he said, "Mom, I know you. You're not good." And I began to wail. I cried a cry that I hadn't heard myself cry. Because I knew this was God's work on my life, and this is my mobile ministry. And I felt for the first time, and was advised for the first time, it was under siege, and that it could be taken away from me. My son actually picked me up and he put me in bed. And he said, "Mommy, stay in bed until you feel good, and then I know you'll get up." He brought me dinner that night. He brought me breakfast the next morning. He brought me lunch the next day. He brought me dinner the next night. I cried and cried and cried. He brought me breakfast the next day. He brought me lunch the next day. I couldn't find the strength to get up for 28 hours. But on the 29th hour, but on the 29th hour, but on the 29th hour, I crawled out of bed weak. And I said, "God, you said you never leave me nor forsake me." And I said, "I'm going to get my company back because it doesn't belong to him. It belongs to me and you." I say that to say, you're going to have unexpected things happen. You're going to have a path, and something's going to disrupt your plan. You're going to be walking in a certain direction, and you're going to see a detour that you didn't expect. And the first thing to say, "Wait a minute, this was my path." And then your gut's going to kick in to the 29th hour. And so I just stopped by to ask you, are you willing to wear the shoes that God gave you? Are you willing to get up in your 29th hour and redesign what the next season looks like for you? Because if you are, I'm clear that your next season is your absolute best season. Because in that season, you bring all your faith, you bring all your resiliency, you bring all your determination, you bring all your unwavering gift, you bring your discernment, you bring your age, you bring your wisdom. In that season, you bring something you couldn't have brought to any other season before now. You just didn't have what you have now. My grandmother told me when I was 24, as she said, I was smelling myself. Some of y'all know what that means. She said, baby, at 24, you can get all the knowledge that you want from them books. She said, but you'll never have my wisdom. She said, I will always have 55 years ahead of you. You got just enough wisdom right now that someone, you came to press reset today. You came to put on the proper size shoes. You've been feeling uncomfortable, but you didn't know why. It's because you're trying to fit a 2020 dream inside of a 2012 pain. You're trying to avoid something that already happened. And God's saying, I got something for you. But I need you to put on the right shoes. This is not a race. This is a marathon. You trying to run a marathon in some stilettos. You trying to run a marathon in some Stacy's. And God said, I got you in a marathon. So if you didn't like how the first mile looked, or how the 10th mile looked, or how the 26th mile looked, it ain't over. Put on your shoes. I can't do everything for you, God said. I'm on a team with you. See, God commanded and I listened. God commanded and I took action. God commanded and I was obedient. Your day begins right now. Right now.
About what might have been.
Be in your now.
I'll let go and I'll let God.
God ain't gonna ever leave you nor forsake you.
God have his way.
God got you, but he needs you to have you. God works on a team. You and God. You and God on a team. God's waiting on you to jump. To jump. Jump. Don't worry about what they think.